Good evening, everybody. It is Friday, the 29th of May, and it's about 7 in the evening. Today, I have managed to kind of get in some snippets of stitching here and there between doing other things, about 2 hours in total. And here's the progress I've made on the skin, if you can see that. Obviously, it looks a bit weird because I've kind of done the darker colours first, and then I'm kind of filling in the lighter ones now. It is tough going this skin because obviously I'm trying to follow the pattern, but I'm also trying to soften out the little blocks quite a bit. I don't just want loads and loads of 4x4 blocks, because of course I'm converting from 2/2 to 1/1. And usually if I was doing that, I would take, I think I said this before, I'd take out graph paper and kind of do it that way. I just don't have the time to do it like that for this piece. So I'm hoping it's going to look all right. These type of faces with the back stitch, they're really, really not my favourite. They're really not my favourite. I much prefer the 1/1 faces that you would get in some of the lavender laces, but of course they're probably very difficult to design and to chart and so on. So we will make do with this. Do I think I'll get it finished by this evening? I don't know. I would very much like to, because I would like to give the whole day tomorrow to beading and have the beading finished by tomorrow evening. It's just really, really difficult to know. I don't want to put pressure on myself either. It is a Friday. I have to say, at this point, I'm getting a little bit tired of this piece. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but usually you would spread it over many, many months, wouldn't you? You wouldn't do the whole thing in a month. And I'm just kind of at the stage where I'm looking at it and I just don't really want to stitch it. But that's only happened in the last few days. And to be fair, once I get this done, I am on to my absolute favourite, which is beading. And I've said about 4 million times how much I love beading. So it's just that very, very last push. And this 1/1 stitching is really, really hard going. Relatively. I mean, it's not that difficult, but it's so slow. But yes, that is where we are. Hopefully, I mean, I'm not going to keep coming back and updating you on more 1/1 stitches. That's really boring. But I will show you where I finished today, and hopefully she will have more of a complete face. But yeah, we're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. Hello, everybody. It's Saturday morning, and I'm just showing you my end point for Friday evening. So as you can see, the skin is pretty much complete, with the exception of this triangle here. I have purposefully left that triangle blank. And the reason is because I don't have the right thread to do the back stitch on her mouth. So when I did my thread list, this is my own fault. When I did my thread list, I went by the thread list on the back of the chart. I didn't actually read that there were extra threads needed for the back stitch. So I'm missing the one for her mouth, and I'm missing the one for the outline of her skin. And I'm not going to get them today. I'm probably going to get those on Tuesday. So the piece won't be finished in May, but I think we already knew that was going to happen. So yes, this is our end point. This is the end point for the skin for now. A lot of hours. Yesterday was a really heavy day of stitching. I just basically gave as much time as I could to stitching, and by the end of it I was pretty tired. It was a pretty late night, but yes, we've made good progress. And now today, so in tomorrow's video for you, I'm going to start the beading, and I'm very excited about that. Good morning, everybody, on Saturday the 30th of May, day 30 of our Mirabilia in a month challenge. A really gloomy day, so I'm sorry for the low light here. So today is beading day, and at last, my favourite day. I love beading, as I've said many, many times. In front of me, I have all the beads we need. Well, pretty much all the beads we need. So our regular seed beads in both the normal finish, the antique, the frosted. Then some pony beads here, as you can see. Of course, if you've been watching this series, you will know that we are missing one packet of beads that I had to order separately from the US. And this is an absolute sickener. Last night, so Friday night, I got an email saying, that I owed money to the Irish Revenue for the VAT or the tax on the beads. Well, on the parcel that had come from the US. And obviously I paid it. Now that came on a Friday night. So, you know, I won't get it until Tuesday because Monday's a bank holiday. But if I had ordered the beads one day earlier, I possibly would have had the beads by yesterday. So I was one day late on my bead ordering endeavours. So there you go. That's how close we were to getting the beads on time, and that's how close we were to finishing the piece in the month of May. But anyway, there are worse things happening in this world than me being a day short on my beads. I think that's fair to say. So we're going to start the beads. I have my beads, of course, like I said. I have my Nymo, although I'm probably going to see if I can find the other Nymo, the one that's on a spool, and use that up before opening a new one. And I have my DMC beading needles, which you can't see because it is so incredibly gloomy and dark. And yeah, we're ready to get going on the beads. Now, I am going to have a look at the frame situation, and I'm going to do that now. Yes, I'm going to do that now, and then I'm going to come back to you. Okay, so I have my fabric in the frame. What this frame is it is the smaller Nerge frame, so the 21 by 21 centimetre plus the extension rod pack on all, I know you can't really see, but on all four corners. And that's how I've made this frame that's just big enough to fit in this piece. I mean, there's a tiny blossom here that's stuck, and if I moved it over, the fabric over, I would have been able to avoid that, but it doesn't really matter. So what this means is it's just big enough to fit my piece so I can bead in a frame, which is just amazing because I usually bead with the fabric in hand, and I don't really like holding the fabric in hand. So this is perfect. I could have, if I'd wanted a bigger frame again, I could have used the 29 by 29, the one that we were using over the last few days to do the blossoms. Could have used that and added in the extension pack to make a really, really, really big frame. But this one is absolutely perfect. I can't actually show you the full size because the thing that's holding the camera doesn't go up any higher. Well, maybe it does a bit. Oh, yeah, I don't know if you can see that. I think it's 35 by 35 centimetres. I've lost. Where's the thing gone? 1 second. Let's have a look. So here's the leaflet. Oh, I'll just move this down again. We're very professional here, aren't we? Here's the leaflet that came with the frame. So I had the 21 by 21, added in the extension pack on all four corners to make a square. You can also make a rectangle, but I of course made a square, and 39 by 39 centimetres, that's 15 by 15 inches is what I made. And if I'd done it with the bigger frame, I could have had 18.5 inches or 47 centimetres. So that's what I've done. That's what I love about, I sound like I'm gone into sales mode, and I don't mean to do that. I mean, use whatever you want, but I'm really impressed with these. And that's what I love about them, is the versatility of changing, being able to change the sizes to suit the project. Because of course you wouldn't want a frame like this, or at least I wouldn't want a frame like this size permanently, because it would be kind of too big and too awkward. Having said that, I'm sure some people would love this. But so it's nice for me to be able to have the little frame most of the time and then make it into a bigger frame for situations like this. So here we are. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. I'm going to start beading. I'm really excited. This is my thing. This is my jam. I love beading. And I might find something nice to watch on Netflix or YouTube. I've been watching a thing called Legends on Netflix. It's really cheerful. It's about the drugs trade in early 90s Britain. But it has Tom Burke in it, who is one of my favourite actors. I think he is rather extraordinary. And yeah, it's really, really good. So I might watch a bit of that. Okay, I'll talk to you later. So we're 2 hours into the beading, and obviously you can see that her headdress is done. The cushion here is done. And then these blossoms up here, they're all done. So all that remains to be done on the top is these few blossoms here. And then we're going to start moving down to all of these blossoms, and then I think there's also beads, blue beads running along the edge of this blanket. So for 2 hours progress, I think it's pretty good. The biggest problem is my back is absolutely killing me. Whatever way I'm leaning over to try and get the thread in the back of the bead, it's killing my back, but it's not that big of a deal. It's only for one day. And yeah, so that's 2 hours, and I will update you later when I hopefully have a little more to show. Okay everyone, so I've done about another 2 hours of stitching. I've done up here along the wings. I can't really show you because I'm sitting on my bedroom floor and I can't really move the frame and the camera at the same time. But I've done all of these, and then I've done these ones here along the wings, a wing. These beads have caused me an enormous amount of trouble. So usually when I'm stitching, I would always stitch my beads diagonally. So you can see here, these are all facing this way. So are the ones in her hair and the ones in the blossoms and the ones along the edge of the wings at the top. That doesn't really work so well when you're dealing with kind of long rows like you have here. So I decided to place the beads horizontally, so this way. And when I did that, the spacing wasn't right. They were too crammed together and they were all kind of going on top of each other. So I said, okay, I'll just swap them. So I pulled them all back out and decided to stitch them vertically. So, you know, with the holes at the top and the bottom. Did that, same problem. Beads all cramming on top of each other, all throwing each other, you know, the neighbour out of the line. So I decided, okay, well, I'll change the spacing then. And so I stitched, rather than have, you know, one stitch, so one bead for each cross stitch, I would do one bead for a stitch and a half. So rather than counting, leaving one empty hole between each hole that you're kind of pulling your thread through, I should say, I would leave 2 holes and then do it on the 3rd hole. So 1.5 stitches per bead. Did that, didn't look right either. It looked like there was too much space. So I had to pull them all out again. And you can see there's a lot of beads here. I had to pull them all out again. You know, there's beads flying everywhere. And had to try again and try again. And basically the spacing that I found kind of works the best, I guess, is to basically stitch in every stitch. And then when they start to get too close together, miss half a stitch and then continue on to give them a little bit of breathing space. But it has been, I don't know how many times I have pulled out these beads and put them back in and pulled them out and put them back in. That's not to mention the beads here, because these beads are diagonal. These beads are horizontal. It looks a bit weird, but I just couldn't find an alternative that worked. I guess maybe the better method would have been to have them all vertical. Sorry, I know you can't see, but to have them all vertical along the wings. But I didn't really want to pull those beads out because I quite like the way the diagonal beads look. So yeah, that has been incredibly frustrating, and you're dealing with incredibly small beads. But I've lost a huge amount of time because of that issue as well with these beads, and they're still not perfect, but you'll always get that with beads where they'll kind of mess up a bit and then they'll go back to where they should be. So yes, anyway, now I am off to start on some bigger beads. I think I'm gonna leave, there's gold beads supposed to go here. I'm gonna leave those for a little while because I just need a break from the gold beads. And I'm gonna move on down to the bottom of her dress, so down here, and there's like big fat pony beads that go around the bottom of the dress. So I think I'm going to do some of those and then maybe go over and do these blossoms and yeah, see how we go. It's a lot. I love beading, but that situation has really kind of thrown a spanner in the works, and I don't know if this is going to be finished by this evening, but we'll see. We'll keep going and we'll see. Good morning, everybody. It is the morning of Sunday, the 31st of May. Please excuse my slightly croaky voice. I was up until quite late last night trying to get some beads finished on this piece. So as you can see, most of the beading is now complete. There's just a little patch of gold beads here, these blossoms here, then this is all done, the crown, the blossoms over here. Just bear in mind that these blossoms are the ones that need those green beads. The famous green beads that we've been waiting on, they go over here. So if they don't look 100% complete, that's why. The cushion, like I said. Moving down then, the blue kind of pony beads around the edge of the blanket, the green frosted pony beads around her dress, more blossoms. Yeah, there's also this chain of pink beads going down here. I couldn't complete that because, as you can see, the frame is in the way. So that will have to be done at the very end when I take the piece out of the frame, and I'll just hold it in hand. So yeah, this is where we are. And basically now I'm just waiting on those last beads, the last packet of beads, the famous beads. We're probably all sick of hearing me say the word bead, I think, at this point. And of course, the thread for the backstitch on her skin and her mouth. I have to be honest, I'm pretty gutted, because if I had done my prep properly, if I had had all of those materials, then I'm pretty confident I would have finished this piece today, and I would have completed a Mirabilia in the month of May, which was my goal. But it's just a lesson to maybe be a bit more stringent on your preparation. I think that's what I've learned from this. But yeah, it's still 30 days. This is the way I see it. It's still 30 days of work, and day 31 will be whatever day I manage to get that those last few threads and the beads. So it will still hopefully be complete within 30 days, just not 31 days, sorry, just not 31 consecutive days. Yeah, sorry, my brain's a bit slow this morning. I'm quite tired. So yes, here we are. This series is not over yet. There will of course be one more video. We do have to complete this piece. We're not gonna abandon it now. So there will be one more video, and I will show you when this piece is complete. I just don't know when that will be. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday. But for now, thank you once again for watching. I'm sorry there was 2 videos, 2 days combined into one video. There just really wasn't enough footage, I suppose, from the day when I did this. And then I was just quite busy, and there just wasn't enough time. So I hope you'll forgive me for mashing the two together. But yes, I will see you hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday. We're going to get this piece finished, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And if you have a bank holiday tomorrow, enjoy that too. And I'll see you soon.